Extra. On this, the 13th day of September 2017, my name is Wahiga Mwaura. Now today we have all the day's politics, current affairs and business lined up for you in the course of this broadcast. We will be taking a look today at President Uhuru Kenyatta's address in Parliament yesterday and NASA's boycott of that same function, and the fact that the judiciary skipped the official opening of the 12th Parliament. Expect a discussion on that and so much more. In addition, we will also analyze NASA's IEBC ultimatum and the flopped meeting between the electoral body and the political parties. We will also continue to monitor the NASA strike, which is in its 4th month, and give you any new information in regards to that as well. We value your feedback. Talk to us on 22422 and on our social media platforms as well at Citizen TV Kenya. Shortly, I will be introducing my panel of members of the National Assembly in just a bit. But for now, we're monitoring the situation around the country. What is happening today? We are live in Nyeri County, Mombasa, and Uasin Gishu as well. And today we want to ask Kenyans, of course, who are from those different cities, what they think about the president's address yesterday and about the boycott by opposition lawmakers. Do they agree with it? Do they feel that the president captured the mood of the nation in his speech yesterday? Could he have said more? And in addition to the boycott by opposition lawmakers, what is their take on that? Should opposition lawmakers have attended that the joint sitting or not? We want to hear from you, and we start in Nyeri County, where Martin Munene now gives us an update. Martin, you've had some of the questions that we would like to begin the broadcast with. Kindly let us know what residents of Nyeri County feel about yesterday's activities.
Indeed, Wahiga Mwaura, you're getting us live, like you said, from Nyeri. And where I am standing is outside the County Assembly of Nyeri Chambers, where we're going to be speaking with the Speaker, Honorable John Kagusha, on the issues that you've raised today. And I must say that Nyeri was locked, listening in to the President's speech yesterday, and a lot of residents expressing concern that opposition lawmakers decided to skip the event, many feeling that they should have attended, especially in a time when the country really has been divided and in need of healing. And so we are going to be, of course, following this closely to see what they keep saying about the same issue. And with me, kindly, if you allow me, let me introduce my guest today, who is Honorable John Kagusha. Kindly, if you can look at the camera, and please help us understand what is your take on the President's speech yesterday.
Thank you very much, and much greetings to my friend Wahiga Mwaura. Now, I would want to say that first, it was very important that this session was held yesterday. And one of the greatest importance of this session was to show that in the country we do not have a vacuum of power, and that all the institutions are actually working, and that whether we are going to have any issue of a re-election that is going to take place on 17th, and even if we had any problem with that, then it shows that we would still have all the institutions of power in this country working well. Yesterday, the President, of course, as you realize, did not dwell much on the legislative agenda. Instead, he seemed to dwell much more on how the government should be able to operate, how different bodies and independent bodies should be able to relate, and he actually dwelled so much on the fidelity of the Constitution. And he raised the issue of members of the Assembly, members of the National Assembly being able to unite the country, especially as we are having this issue of re-election campaigns, or the election campaigns of 17th of October. And in particular, he insisted that we do not need to have politicians inciting the public. And one of the things that the President has done, even after the ruling of the Maraga 4, one of the things that he has done every time is to insist on peace and to insist on unity of our nation. And that is very important, because then if people took a different direction at this time, you realize that our country actually would be very, very divided, especially looking at the political undertones that we are having in the country today. But this kind of a session yesterday was very good in cooling off some of those temperatures. The only unfortunate thing is some of the members of the opposition did not attend this session. And of course, I wouldn't say, like, some people are saying that the NASA lawmakers did not attend the session. I saw some faces from NASA who are actually in Parliament. And so that means that it's only a few, it's only some of those lawmakers who did not attend the session yesterday. So because I remember I saw someone like Sambu, I think from Webuye East, he was in attendance of that session yesterday. And so that shows that even with what we are having in the nation, we still have people who want to remain united and to come together. And you realize that we had the issue of the swearing in of the parliamentarians and of course the senators. And you remember at first there was an ultimatum from the opposition that they wouldn't attend the swearing in. But of course, realizing that it was going to work against them individually, then they of course acted, what I would say, almost selfishly to attend the swearing in, so that then they do not lose out on their tickets in Parliament, and that because that then would have warranted them, of course, to go back to by-elections. Something similar maybe to what Martha Karua is doing by going to Kerugoya High Court and seeking for the nullification of the whole election, which again, of course, I think is a long shot, is a little bit far-fetched, because again, you know, you need to have all the elected leaders being respondents to that kind of a petition, because then you didn't have a decision being made in a court of law which affects you, and yet you do not have an opportunity to defend yourself. That would be against fundamental rights of every Kenyan and every elected leader. So Martha Karua would then need to serve all the people who are elected, you know, with this petition, so that then they can also hire lawyers to go and defend them individually, so that then they have a right of reply and they are able to defend themselves. But looking at what was raised yesterday by the president, he dwelt quite a bit on the issue of following our constitution, ensuring that we are having all the independent institutions. We have the judiciary, of course, which of course has come under, you know, a lot of castigation from the Jubilee side of government, and of course even the independent electoral boundaries commission, the IEBC, they also need to be given their space to operate. And talking about IEBC, then of course we have the issue of the simmering row that is between Chebukati and Chiloba. And I would also want to say that people need to be a bit careful, especially Jubilee. They need to be careful about some of the issues which are being raised, because what people need to understand is that what politicians are fronting and what they are telling Kenyans, what is being published by the media, is not necessarily what they are doing and what they are thinking. Look, when, for example, NASA said that they would not go to court, it was clear then afterwards that they had already made elaborate plans on how they would go to court, only that they wanted to use some other institutions. And here, Jubilee was there believing that NASA is truly saying that they are not going to court. So when NASA again says that IEBC need to be changed, I want to challenge Jubilee. You don't need to say that NASA does not need to be changed. When NASA says that IEBC need to be changed, at times they actually mean the opposite. And what they need to do is to have their own stand, do their own proper investigations, which I want to believe they are doing, so that whatever it is that is coming out of IEBC is something that is acceptable between the two sides. In fact, I'm one of the people who are advocating for all the political parties to kind of have stakeholders to work together with IEBC. Let's have NASA people. Let's stop this hypocrisy, because we understand very clearly that inside IEBC we have people who are more leaning towards Jubilee, and we have other people who are leaning more towards NASA. And what is happening now, Raila has put, I think, about 9 demands, and one of those demands, or quite a number of those demands, have to do with anyone leaning towards Jubilee to be removed, and of course then the people who are retained are the ones who are leaning towards NASA. Why don't we just agree that this thing is divided and everyone is leaning towards whichever side, and then we agree? You are the people leaning towards NASA, you are the people leaning towards Jubilee. Now let's work as a team, let's check each other, so that then whatever the results we get are acceptable to all of us. But again, you know, unfortunately the secretariat need to be very dependent, but unfortunately, as we are in Kenya today, that dependence is getting washed away. And it is not even getting washed away because of even external influences. A lot of times it's also getting washed away because of Kenyans refuse to put away their own subjective thinking when they are getting into these institutions. They go there and they still want to follow the inner thinking of, for example, their tribes, where they come from, and whoever they have voted for in the past. You know, that is a very, very bad thing. And you know, these people have actually sworn an oath they have sworn an oath that they are going to be independent and uphold the constitution. But unfortunately, that is not happening. So I think a time may need to come and we recheck ourselves again and ask ourselves, really, are we truly independent, or are people leaning? And truly, we know, within our hearts, we know that people are actually leaning towards certain sides. So why don't we then agree? You are leaning this side, you are leaning this side. Let's work as such now, knowing that we are representing interests.
Okay, and maybe, all right, and maybe back to what the president said, so that we don't divert too much. Do you feel that the president's speech achieved its mandate to bring Kenya together and unify Kenyans, especially noting that the NASA brigade, most of them did not attend? Did it achieve that purpose?
Well, now that will depend on who is looking at it, because again, as we are talking now, we are in a campaign mode now, and people are differently aligned in the country. There are those people who are supporting Jubilee, there are those who are supporting NASA. But as much as possible, the president actually dwelt on things that unite, other than the ones that divide. He went, for example, he castigated those politicians who are, propagating hate speech. Right. That in itself, is very strong. And it sends messages across the political divide that the president is not going to be soft on anyone, and the law is not going to be soft on anyone because they are Jubilee or they are NASA. You are going to, you will be taken, or you'll be held accountable to every word that you say and every speech that you give.
All right, thank you so much. And strong sentiments there from the speaker, and clearly that is what the feeling is like on the ground. A lot of people feeling that the president actually did achieve his objective, which is unifying Kenyans. And we will be following keenly to see what Nyeri has to say on the matter. Back to you, Wahiga Mwaura.
Well, thank you so much, Martin, for that update as well, and for that interview there with John Kagushia, who was a familiar face on Citizen Extra. Congratulations to him on that new post, Speaker, Nyeri County Assembly. Let's now cross over to Mombasa County, where Asha Bikidusa now brings us the latest from there, also letting us know what is the reaction of Mombasa residents to the speech yesterday by President Uhuru Kenyatta, and what do they feel about the fact that that same sitting was boycotted by opposition lawmakers. Asha, good morning, and kindly update us on those particular matters with the latest from residents of Mombasa County. Asha, if you can hear me?
A very good morning to you, Wahiga. It's a sunny morning here in Mombasa. Actually, I'm in Mlaleo, which is in Kisauni, and I'll be joining some residents of Mombasa who will be giving us their reaction and even their views concerning yesterday's matter, where NASA MPs boycotted the sitting, and also their feel about the president address yesterday. Now, tueleze majina yako na maoni yako kuhusiana na NASA jana, wabunge wa NASA kususia kile kikao cha bunge.
Mimi naitwa Salim. Kwanza napongeza NASA kutohudhuria bunge, kwa sababu rais alipokuwa amepewa certificate alifungua bunge, hajaambiwa kwa yeye hakushinda. Kwa hivyo siku ya pili alipoambiwa certificate yake ni fake, wale wabunge wana haki ya kukosa kuhudhuria kikao cha jana.
Na ile hotuba yake, pengine maoni yako ni yapi kuhusiana na ile hotuba yake ya jana?
Hotuba yake hatujaona kama ina maana yote, kwa sababu tutambui sasa kama rais.
Na itakuwa tunajiunga na mkazi mwingine, na tueleze majina yako na maoni yako jana. NASA, wabunge wa NASA wamesusia kikao cha jana.
Naitwa Wasonga, mimi mkazi wa Mlaleo. Jana NASA kutohudhuria walifanya kitu muhimu zaidi. Kwa sababu ya nini? Kwa sababu baada hatutambui kwamba tuna rais. Rais vile alikuwa amesema kwamba anafungua bunge. Tunajua kwamba sasa hii tujapata 12th president parliament. Aliaddress bunge kama 11th president parliament ambayo term yake iliisha. Sasa hii tunangoja tuende katika uchaguzi ili tufanye nini? Tuwe na rais mpya. Na kulingana na matamshi yake, ile aliaddress caucus ya Jubilee, lakini sio bunge la nchi ya Kenya. Ilikuwa ni caucus ya Jubilee, Parliamentary Group of Jubilee. So sisi hatumtambui kama president bado.
Na tueleze majina yako na hatua ya wabunge wa NASA kususia kikao cha jana, unaonaje?
Mimi kwa jina naitwa Dickson Misuku, mkaaji wa Mlaleo. NASA kukosa kuhudhuria hiyo kikao cha hiyo bunge, kwangu mimi sama wanaona kuna sababu gani walifanya hivyo. Lakini kwangu mimi kwa binafsi naona walifanya kitu mzuri. Kile wangefanya, wangeenda pale waulize, saa hii tunahudhuria hii bunge, tunahudhuria kama nani rais wetu. Maanake tunajua our excellency President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta ambaye yuko at the moment, hata yeye anangoja verdict yake. Hatujui tunaelekea wapi. Sasa kama tuseme Jubilee ama president mwingine hata kuwa amechukua yeye, mimi nauliza huyu rais atahudhuria yeye pia ama atabeba watu wake wa Jubilee? Kwa hivyo vile walifanya NASA, hapo imetuchanganya wa Kenya, because sahi tunaenda sahi tena kutafuta ni nani rais wa Kenya, lakini tunajua Uhuru is waiting, is still holding the powers with him, but we never know, tomorrow ama the day after tomorrow it might go away. Sasa tutajua tuko wapi.
Na itakuwa tunajiunga na mkazi mwingine. Majina yako na wabunge wa NASA kususia kikao cha jana wa bunge, unaonaje?
Kwa kweli wabunge wa NASA, kwa majina naitwa Sheba Ndoro, wabunge wa NASA walifanya vizuri kususia kile kikao, kwa sababu president hajachaguliwa, na hata kama alipewa cheti, lakini kile cheti tuliambiwa turudi kwa uchaguzi, tuchague kiongozi anayefaa kuongoza taifa la Kenya. Kwa hivyo president kama alitoa speech nzuri kwa wakati usiofaa. Yeye kama kiongozi angesubiri mpaka tukichagua kiongozi ambaye atakuwa anaenda kufungua bunge la 12, atoe speech na majaji wakiwa pale na furaha wakichangia kama yeye ni president wa Kenya. Lakini kwa sahihi kule ni kama kujigamba na kujipiga kifua na kudhalilisha wa Kenya. Kwa hivyo sisi tunasubiri president tutakayemchagua kwa haki na aende akafungue kikao cha bunge cha 12,
na itakuwa tunajiunga na mkazi mwingine. Na mama, tueleze majina yako na maoni yako kuhusiana na wabunge wa NASA kususia kikao cha jana.
Kwa majina naitwa Amina Amin. Mimi kwa maoni yangu naona NASA alifanya vizuri kukosa kufika pale. Manake kwa saa hii tuko idle, hatujui president ni nani. Kwa hivyo president wetu Uhuru ange hold on akangoja lile bunge la 12 ambazo sasa tutarajia. Manake saa hii wa Kenya tuko stranded. Kwa hivyo kiongozi atakayechaguliwa kwa bunge wa 12 ndo tutamjua kama president.
Yeah, as you've heard, Wahiga, there are many of the residents here actually are supporting the boycott by NASA Member of Parliament. And also, as long as they're saying that the president's speech was very nice and he tackled some of the issues which they were concerned about, but they're saying that the speech did not come in good time because of the case which is at the Supreme Court, because of the re-election which we're waiting for on 17th of October. Back to you, Wahiga, in studio.
Thank you so much, Ashabi Kidusa, for that update. Some of the residents you've spoken to, they are very clear on their take on the president's speech yesterday and the boycott by opposition lawmakers. Let's now get another view from Uasin Gishu County, Eldoret, to be specific, where John Wanyama is on standby. John, same question to you. I'm sure residents there had time to listen to the president yesterday as he spoke at about 2:33 in the afternoon. What was their take on his speech? But in addition, how did they perceive the fact that opposition lawmakers were not in attendance to that first joint sitting? Take it away, Wanyama.
Thank you very much, Mwaura. And in Eldoret town specifically, there's nothing less you can expect from the president's speech yesterday. You know, this is their zone, and they are very happy with their president's speech yesterday. And they are saying that despite NASA and MPs not attending that opening of the parliament yesterday, they feel like it's okay since the house was full, and they didn't even miss that there were some MPs who were missing in the parliament. So most of them here, they are saying that yesterday was a success, especially for Jubilee government, and they were happy with the president the speech of the president that he issued yesterday, especially targeting IEBC and also targeting the judiciary. So maybe if we can hear from the horse's mouth, if we can talk to one or two, Mwaura, so that we can get their views clearly. Maybe swali langu kwanza kwako, ulisikiza hotuba ya rais jana, na pengine ulifurahia yale ambayo yaliendelea bungeni?
Kwa majina naitwa Ben Ruto, mimi ni mkaaji wa Uasin Gishu, na kwa hotuba ya rais ya jana ilikuwa mzuri. Vitu ambayo aliangazia kuhusu amani Kenya wakati wa campaign, hiyo ilikuwa 100%. Na kwa maneno ingine, nafikiri punga ilikuwa imejaa, ilikuwa mzuri. Hata kama wenzetu wa NASA hawakuhudhuria, mimi kama mwananchi nasikia uchungu. Juu mimi ndio nachukua mbunge. Na mtu kwenda kususia hotuba ya rais. Rais ni ya kila mtu na ni moja kwa Kenya, hakuna marais wawili. So ningewasi kama mbunge alichaguliwa na raia, aende kazi ile alipewa na raia, sio kukimbilia pesa bunge ama kukimbilia vitu zingine.
Kwa majina naitwa Simeon Mitei, mimi ni mkaaji wa Eldoret, na kwa maoni yangu mambo ya jana vile ilikuwa imeendelea huko parliament, niliona ilikuwa mzuri. Kila ambacho nilifurahia yale ambayo rais alifanya na wabunge vile walichangia, vile wote walikuja. Kila ambacho niliona tu si mzuri ni opposition kususia rais. Unajua rais ni kielelezo ya Kenya, yeye ndio anaunganisha wa Kenya, na vile alisema kujeni parliament wangefuata sheria. Ya tatu ni kwamba yale alizungumza ilituguza, maana inahusiana juu ya usalama na umoja wetu kama taifa la Kenya. Ya mwisho ni kwamba yule Chief Justice mwenye hakuhudhuria hapo sasa ndio iko kinonda, maana huyu mtu yeye ni one arm of government. Wale wawili walikuwa executive na legislature, lakini huyu mtu ya judiciary hakukuja, kumaanisha yeye hako na kinyuriro, na huyo mzee aangalia maneno yake mzuri. Si mzuri sana yeye akae kwa hiyo kama hiyo. He is real partisan na si mzuri.
Thank you. Kwa majina naitwa James Rotich, mimi ni mkaaji wa Uasin Gishu, nafanya kazi hapa Oda. Nilifurahia jinsi rais wa Kenya alivyozungumza jana. Alitoa mambo mazuri ambayo inajenga Kenya na inatusaidia kama raia. Jambo la pili ambayo ningesema ni kuhusu wabunge ambao walichaguliwa. Mimi nikiwa mwananchi nimechagua mbunge aende kuniwakilisha, na anaposusia inaonyesha picha yake jinsi atakavyokuwa baadaye. Kwa hivyo kila ambacho mbunge anafanya inaonyesha picha ya eneo ambayo anatoka na anawakilisha watu wake. Kwa hivyo jinsi walivyosusia inaonyesha kwamba hawana umoja katika nchi ya Kenya. Wangehudhuria tu hiyo kikao, lakini kwa sababu wako ule upande nyingine wangefanya vile wanataka. Lakini sasa kwa sababu walisusia ni kumaanisha kwamba hawako pamoja na wananchi ambao walichagua, wanataka kufanya mambo yao. President ya Kenya ni moja. Wangekaa tu wangoje uamuzi wa IEBC na uchaguzi ule ndio mambo iko sawa.
Thank you. Mwaura, my last person here, if you can talk to him briefly, your views on this.
I am Ezekiel Samuel, a resident of Eldoret. Starting from the presidential address to Parliament yesterday, I want to say, as the Constitution dictates, the President is the symbol of unity for this country. And NASA MPs boycotting to attend the Parliament yesterday, I can say they don't stand by the ideals, because they have subjected themselves to be micromanaged by their leaders. So what I want to say, yesterday's speech by the President, I want to say, touched so many Kenyans. And it is us now to preach the peace that the President himself is preaching. Because this country has one president and we will not have two presidents, and we don't have any other country apart from this country. So what I want to tell those leaders from NASA MPs, those MPs from NASA, they must stand up and forge ahead to spearhead the interest of their constituents. Those who elected them, let them stick to their ideals and legislate what they were elected to do in Parliament. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mwaura. Those are some of views from residents here in Uasin Gishu. And clearly you will hear them saying that the parliament is meant for the elected leaders, and those especially when bills and laws are made in the parliament are made for the people of Kenya. It's not made for the people of opposition or Jubilee. Mwaura, we are still following up on these views, and as you can hear, residents here are very happy with the president's speech, and they are still discussing it all over in the streets so that they can come to understand really what the president meant and how they are going for the election. As you know, IEBC has also given out the blueprint of what is going to happen in the next election. Mwaura.
Thank you so much, John Wanyama, for that update, reporting live from Eldoret Town, Uasin Gishu County. Let's now bring you live images on your screen of what is happening in Parliament as members of Parliament stream in. They are expected from about 9:30, which is actually right now, to have a discussion on the President's speech. I'm told that this will happen in 4 sessions, one this morning, one tomorrow, one this afternoon, and then, of course, we'll get to know when the other 2 sessions will happen. Senate is also expected to sit down and discuss the President's speech from 2:30 this afternoon, just to reflect, of course, on some of the statements the president made yesterday in a speech which was a little under 30 minutes or so, I believe. What was their take from that? We will continue to monitor what is happening in addition to that. Coincidentally, I also have members of parliament here in studio and some from the opposition. I'll be curious to find out from them whether they'll be heading to parliament after this, or does the boycott still continue. Let me introduce my guest in studio now. Let me start at the far right, where I'm joined by Honorable Dan Manzo, Member of Parliament Makueni. Welcome to the program. In addition, Honorable Kanini Kega, another name you might not know of his, James Mavenge. Again, he'll tell us which one he wants to use for the purpose of this interview. Kieni, Member of Parliament, welcome to the program, Mheshimiwa.
Thank you, Aiga.
Honorable Pio Wandai, Member of Parliament, Ugunja, welcome to the program. And Honorable Caleb Kositani, Member of Parliament, Soi, welcome to the broadcast as well.
Good morning, viewers.
Let me start with you, Honorable Wandai. Parliament carries on today, or past sitting. Are you going to be in attendance?
Well, you know, our boycott was insofar as the so-called state opening of Parliament was concerned.
Okay.
And therefore, from this morning, our members of Parliament are free to attend the sessions and carry out their mandate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that where you're headed to after this interview?
No, personally, I won't be going there because I have engagements. But
eventually you will...
In the fullness of time, I'll be in Parliament, yeah.
Honorable Manzo?
Yes, well, I'll be going back to Parliament. I want to oppose the presidential speech yesterday and point out a few matters here and there where the country should know.
Okay, okay. Honorable Kega, Honorable Kositani, I'll come to you shortly. NASA leader Raila Odinga yesterday spoke about the joint sitting of Parliament, but he termed it differently. He called it, or he's part of, you know, sort of like a Jubilee caucus of sorts. Let's listen to his exact words on that, and then I'll come back and get reactions from my panelists here in studio.
Uhuru Kenyatta hawezi kututisha. Leo wameenda kufungua bunge. Bunge ambayo inafungua ni bunge ya 12. Yeye ni rais wa 11. Rais wa 11 hawezi kufungua bunge ya 12. Bunge ya 12 inafunguliwa na rais wa 12. Kwa hivyo yale ambayo ameenda kufanya leo ni mkutano wa PG ya KANU katika jengo la bunge. PG ya Jubilee katika jengo la bunge. Sio kufungua state opening of parliament. Alafu anasema ati kuna mswada ambao anataka kupeleka bungeni, sheria ya kubadilishwa. Ati bunge ibadilishe sheria ya kura. Ati they want to introduce amendment to the election laws. Kurudisha sisi kule ambayo tulitoka mwaka 2007. Tumekataa. Uhuru Kenyatta anataka kutangaza hali ya hatari. Ajihadhari. Mpaka yeye ajue kama Wakenya wamekasirika na yeye.
Honorable Kega, you seem to have had quite a reaction as NASA leader Raila Odinga was speaking. Yesterday's joint sitting, described by some as a Jubilee caucus, he's described it as a PG meeting for the Jubilee Party, and the saying is that, or the feeling is, the 12th Parliament can only be opened officially by the duly elected President. I want to give you a chance now to respond to that.
The President of the Republic of Kenya, with no doubt, is His Excellency Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, and it's very, very clear in the Constitution that another President will only take over when another one is sworn in. I mean, the President was sworn in on the 9th of April 2013, and there is no other President who has been sworn in. He is still the President of the Republic of Kenya. And if you look at even the screenshot that you have just shown in Parliament, Parliament was full. In fact, I'm shocked that you are saying that there were some people who are not in Parliament. Parliament was full.
So you did not notice yesterday?
I did actually notice that
who are sitting on both sides of you were not
exactly, because Parliament was full. And politicians, in most cases, they lie, you know, and they get away with it. But when now politicians start believing in their own lies, then that's a tragedy. Because right now, Raila is believing in his own lies. You know, he believes that he won the election. He believes that there is no president. That is a tragedy. And saying that it was a PG, we actually held a PG in a State House in the morning.
In the morning, exactly.
So what we had was an official function in Parliament, and I'm also shocked that Wandai, my good friend, is saying that he's going to attend Parliament. I thought they would say that that's an illegal Parliament, they are not going to come, they will not even be sworn in, because they had even agreed at one point that they are not going to be sworn in. But they have realized that there is a risk ahead if you fail to attend Parliament for 8 sittings in a year. You stand to lose your seat. I think those are some of the realities that are dawning on them. They are now being told not to attend Parliament by people who are not even employed, by people who are not even members of Parliament. Wandai was elected by his people to go and represent him, not in political areas.
You feel that he failed his people by
definitely
not
he is failing.
yesterday?
He is failing. Mheshimiwa here is saying that he is going to discuss the presidential speech, which I think he didn't even attend. So I don't think he has an idea.
I wanted to give Honorable Kostani a chance, but I know Honorable Wandai, I need to give you a chance to respond briefly, because I need to bring in Honorable Kostani as well.
You know, there's something that my colleague Honorable Kanini Kega is trying to civilize a very serious matter. You know, we say it very clearly, and we are very conversant with the provisions of the Constitution, because some of us actually contributed immensely to the making of that constitution against the will of those who are currently sitting on the Jubilee side. But that aside, what we have continued to say is that as things stand, Uhuru being a president who is serving under temporary incumbency lacks legitimacy to purport to be making a speech in the official opening of Parliament. That we have said. And we are quite cognizant of the provisions of Article 132. Don't remind me about it. 134 and even 142. But what we're talking about here is legitimacy. We have said that it is the first time in the history of this country that somebody who is facing a re-election, somebody whose election has been annulled by none other than the Supreme Court of the Republic, and is facing another election in about a month's time, is purporting to be exercising some powers which he had all the time to exercise in the last 4 years, and he didn't. Or he did, if he did it wrongly.
If we had to follow your argument, then what was the purpose of yesterday's joint meeting, in your view?
It was to deny the president, the current temporary president, the lame duck president, the legitimacy that he was craving for in his so-called address to that parliament, and which we did successfully. And my friends here can talk about the house was full.
Hold on, Honorable Kega.
You know, you can say the house was full because you chose to see it being full, while in actual fact, that house lacked the legitimacy that it needed to be called the House of Parliament yesterday. I can also recall that for the first time in history, that the Supreme Court judges, in fact judiciary, as it were, boycotted a so-called official opening of Parliament because they didn't believe in it. I can tell you from where I sit.
You've talked to them. Is that the reasoning they've given you?
I have got all the reasons
brief for the
that they didn't believe in that function.
Let me allow Honorable Kostani now to come in and react to the speech by the President yesterday.
Well, thank you, Wahiga. I think, first of all, as Mheshimiwa Wandai has mentioned, I'm one of those who voted no for this constitution, and I'm proud of having voted no. I have no regrets. But having voted no, this is my constitution, because during the promulgation of the constitution, it became a constitution for all those who voted yes or no. The boycott by NASA of the state opening of Parliament, I think to me was a good thing, because
in what ways?
In as far as NASA's behavior in the past, I think it was a good thing, and I think that's the direction they should take. Whenever they disagree with anything, they should keep away. Because they would have come there, started undressing, started throwing bottles of water and all at the speaker and all, and they would have caused a mess. And I think we are heading in the right direction. I think there's some maturity that is coming up with their politics. When you don't like something, and when you know you can't beat them, and you don't want to join them, then stay away from the house. I've had my good friend Manzo, who I've known for a while, saying that he's coming to debate the presidential speech. I don't know whether he listened to it on the news, or maybe they were seated somewhere and they were watching His Excellency the President giving the speech. But having said that, I think we need to guide ourselves and stick to the real issues that are there in the Constitution. Article 142 of the Constitution says the President shall hold office for a term beginning on the date on which the President was sworn in and ending when the person next elected President, in accordance with Article 136(2), is sworn in. So Uhuru is legitimately the president. After the elections of 8th.
So you're disagreeing with the
Yes, Uhuru was president-elect, and then after the annulment of that election, then Uhuru reverted to being the president. And until this other election, this is now called a fresh election. So there was, as we sit, it is considered there was no presidential election. And note, there was no presidential election. That is why we are sitting members of parliament. They didn't annul the whole election, but they annulled the presidential election.